we just assume everyone knows what to do and how to find this information, and actually they don't. So, you know, some of the stuff when people who follow us think, why are you doing this? We're like, but not everyone knows.
No,
so
it's not common knowledge, and sometimes it's good to know.
No. And sometimes, like, you know, when you follow a link and you look at a website of registration, it can be quite overwhelming. And, you know, what does this mean? Like, I remember the things like when we're getting certified copies of documents. It's like, do not send the originals. Do not send the originals. Get a certified copy. Like the years ago when they had to like send all the documents over, and people would send their actual passport, and you'd be like, no, don't send your passport. So, yeah.
You had to come. You don't have a passport, you can't get on the plane.
I know.
To send it back,
Yeah.
you know, to get it there and send it back, you know, that's probably what, 2.5 months of your life wasted.
Yeah.
Don't give us your passport.
No. But now it's all documented online, and it's so much easier. So the online virtual life is so much better. So.
It is, but it's just one of them. It's just being knowledgeable about what you want to do here and going with it.
Yeah,
you've got to know what you need, and you got to do it.
And I think like we've, as Fabiola's spoken about before, is read, research what you know, because it is, I just want to work in the UK, it's the dream, which is wonderful, and it is the dream, but research that dream and know what you want to do, because it costs money, and it's in the long run it will cost the nurse money making that mistake. It will cost money, so that's, like we say, everyone does want to come here, and it like, you know, they want to be really quick, and it just, you know, it doesn't work.
No,
you know, time,
exactly.
Take time.
Yes, there is no rush. The nursing shortage is not going to suddenly get filled overnight.
No. Yeah.
It'd be nice. We'd love that, but it ain't going to happen.
No. Like, obviously there's over like 40,000 vacancies.
Something like that. Yeah, it's about 40 odd thousand. A small town anyway.
Yeah. So what we're doing as well is we're, a lot of stuff that we're writing about is about like, this is the NMC registration, these are the costs, this is the HCPC registration, because not everyone knows, you know, and people see a lot online. Like we've done a lot of ads today and had a lot of, you know, traffic coming through, and it is, sometimes it is good, because as much as we want people ready now and we want to get interviews now, some people are at the beginning of their process. And also what you find, we talk to a lot of candidates, they're like, yeah, I've applied everywhere. And I'm like, okay. Okay, where? I don't remember. And it's like, again, we work with hospitals, and if you've applied there directly and then we send your details, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look, you know, like you've communicated very, very well, that, you know, and it makes us look bad, and it makes you look bad. And it's just, you know, be aware of where you've applied to, because if you've already applied directly, you can't go through an agency. The hospital is not going to take the agency's application over a direct application.
Of course not. They're not going to. Well, so I can either have this pay. I can either have this person not pay fees to an agency, or I can pay fees to an agency.
Yeah. So, and that is the thing, and that's why, you know, people do tend to ask to go with an agency, is because the time it takes is a bit more streamlined. And we've learned that through, like, you know, people applying directly, it does take a little bit longer, and it's a lot of manpower. So that's why people do use agencies, because, you know, there's less people doing stuff, and then the trust can do their own things. But it is good when the trust get direct applications as well.
Of course. So it's just remembering that you've actually applied to that trust.
Yeah.
It looks better on you, because if they then turn around and give you an interview and they go, so what do you know about the place? And you go, oh, honestly, I didn't even remember applying here. It's not going to look so great.
No, and that's the thing. Like, you know, we talk about interview preparation. It's no matter how experienced you are as a nurse, radiographer, doctor, physio, or whatever, it doesn't matter. You still need to prepare for that interview. And it's, you know, we tend to look at the most random things on a hospital, because on a hospital website you could just go on the About Us page, but then it's like looking at their social media, what's actually happening at that hospital, you know. Interesting. I mean, I had a nurse the other day who had done such in-depth research. It was insane. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's more research than I've ever done. Like the little things that she found out about how the hospital's, you know, environmental policy, and like lowering their emissions. And I'm like, that is such good research, and like it really demonstrates that you have looked into things and the values of the hospital as well. So especially with the current climate, it's really, really important. So it was really, I was like, that's excellent.
Yeah.
So so it's really good.
Always do that. That's, well, not into that depth, but always look into things externally.
No, you don't
well.
need to look. No. But I think like most trusts now have a Twitter page or Facebook page and will anything that's happening at that time. You usually get sometimes candidates will go, what do you know about the hospital? It's the best hospital in the UK. They will say that this, and the hospital know that they're not, and it's like, okay, like that they know that the nurse hasn't done their research, and it's like, so research on where you're actually going to be working is so important. And also, I mean, I've digressed off topic here, but knowing the location, especially I think people who are coming with family, location is so important, especially if you have children, and looking at schools and all these factors come in. And myself and Fabiola think about all these things. So when someone says I can go anywhere, we're like, no. Where do you want to go? Have you researched?
Yeah.
What do you know about the UK? Where do you know about it?
Yeah.
And so it's really, really important, because what happens is you go for the interview, they get offered, then they tell their family, then they look at the location, and then they're like, oh, can't live there, it's too expensive. And then so we are so strict and annoying. We're like, no, until you know where you're happy that you want to work there, then we're not going to send your applications.
Oh, that's it.
It wastes everyone's time, and it's really deflating when a nurse gets a job and gets the offer and then they decline it. So it's
no,
not nice
that's
feeling.
It's not. And just remember, the UK is bigger than London.
Yes.
The most common
London is very big. As a Londoner, I'm very biased towards London. However, I have moved out of London.
Yeah.
So for reasons, but London is a place you can travel into London to work, there's people are scared of London. And it's like, oh no, not London. And it's like, well, you don't actually have to live in central London where it is really expensive to live. You travel in. And that's the normal. Yeah, it's quite normal, jumping on the tube or jumping on an overhead train into town. Because some of them are like 15 minutes. It's wonderful. Mine never was, but yeah, it's like 15 minutes. Like from Kent into London is you can get a 15-minute train. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think Milton Keynes was 30.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It like you say, it isn't just London.
No.
There's so, even though we're a tiny island, there are a lot of NHS hospitals on this tiny little island. So
yes, that's it. So always do your research.
Yeah.
Always do your research. And of course, just another reminder, if you are from one of the World Health Organization developing countries, you have to apply yourself.
Yes.
I mean, we're happy to help bits and bobs, but we can't represent you. We can't, they can't actively recruit you. You have to go to them.
Yes.
I wanted to put it out again.
And I can see people like, but why? And it's like, it's the rules.
It's just the rules. It's the same with Philippines. If you live in the Philippines, you have to use an agency.
I've had a couple this week. You have to go to, it's a government to government agreement. So there's nothing. But if you're from the Philippines and in another country, then you can be represented by an agency that isn't working with someone in the Philippines.
That's it. It's just, if you live in the Philippines, you have to use a Philippine government accredited agency. If you live outside,
or if you apply to an agency, ask them if they have an agreement with a Filipino agency, and if they do, the London agency or London or UK agency is able to help you, but they'll
go through,
process your documentation through the Filipino agency.
Yeah, that's it. But of course, if you live outside the Philippines, you can direct recruit, go through agencies, do whatever. Yeah. Anyway, guys, take care, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.